Hey, what's up everyone? Hope you all having a wonderful time. Do you feel that the leveling experience is just damn too annoying by every league for Path of Exile?
Oh shit, here we go again.
Well, no worries. Welcome to my 5 tips on how you can level up faster and getting to the endgame in no time. Before we start, just a quick reminder to like this video and also consider subscribing to the channel if you find these tips helpful. And with that out of the way, let's dive in. The first tip that I got for you is to use more than one skill. And what I mean by this is that many players only use one damaging skill when they do play throughout the campaign. There are a lot of useful skills that you can use early on that will boost your damage overall. Let's say you start out with the fire trap, for instance. With this we can also use a holy flame totem to boost our damage even further. And later we can also use different kinds of brand skills like Storm or Armageddon brand. There are a lot of different kinds of skills that you can use together with your main skill, and especially on bosses, to speed up the process by quite a bit. The main thing that you want to look for is skills that do have a duration on them, so you can use your main skill while the other skills do damage as well. Tip number 2 is going to be about using the Onslaught support gem. By adding this to your skills, this will add you a chance of gaining the Onslaught effect after getting a killing blow with that skill, or by hitting a unique enemy works as well. Onslaught do provides a 20% increased attack, cost and most important, movement speed buff. Another great thing about the gem is that you can use it with any playstyle that you choose from. Either it be melee skills, bows or spells. This support can be equipped from the start simply by doing a Scion and then transferring the gem to any of the other characters after you have defeated Hillock. You can also buy the gem after you complete the Mercy mission quest, which is the first quest that will reward you with the Quicksilver Flask. Highly recommend doing this quiz as well. Just for that, quick note that every class except the Witch can buy the gem, so if you are starting out with the Witch or don't want to spend a Wisdom Scroll for the Onslaught support gem, go ahead and make a Scion and transfer the gem instead. Adding this early on is really good because there are not many support gems overall to choose from at lower levels. I usually change it out at late Act 2, when you do get some more choices like Conk Effect or Elemental Focus, for instance. If you do feel that you're still one-tapping most of the mobs, you might want to keep it for a while longer. But as soon as you feel that you have to backtrack to kill your enemies, I do recommend switching it out for a better support gem. The next tip is going to be about movement speed on boots. And this is huge if you can get a pair early on. Right after you kill Hillock, you can go and check the vendor for some boots with movement speed on them. And if you do find some, you should always buy them. Having that extra from the start will be worth it in the long run. And if you are unlucky, the vendor will refresh each time you level up. And by this I don't mean that you should go back and check after every level, but do check in between when you are heading back to the town to turn in your quest, for instance. There might be some boots for you that time instead. Another way is if you manage to find another Quicksilver Flask. You can then go to a vendor and sell the flask with the Orb of Augment and also any normal pair of boots. And this will give you a magic boots with 10% increased movement speed on them, and this might be an optional way if you are unlucky like myself. And if you do manage to find another Quicksilver Flask, you can then continue to sell the flask with the Orb of Augment and the boots with the movement speed on them. This will increase the movement speed on the boots by additional 5% each time you do this, up to a max of 30%. Do keep in mind though that the level requirement will increase as you get more movement speed on them. Next up is going to be about planning ahead. This is something that is very important to know when you will get your skill, for instance, or when they are being available for you. If you're not that experienced with PoE, following a guide might also be a great option for this. Most of top content creators for PoE do have everything included for their guides or in their path of buildings, what skills to use, when to swap them out, or how to obtain them. Knowing, especially for skills that you won't get from the quest but will get available by the vendor, and even what quests you need to do for getting them unlocked is going to be good to know, so you don't have to backtrack and can get your skills as soon as possible. Another thing that's good to know is different prices for all of the different skills. And some easy ways to know the prices for the different skill is from Act 1, most of the skill will cost 1 transmit orb, except for the first ones, which will cost 1 wisdom scroll. In Act 2 they will all cost alterations, and in Act 3 they will cost chance orbs, and lastly in Act 4 they will start to cost chance orbs and alchemy orbs. For tip number 5 we're going to talk about overleveling, and by this I mean that you pretty much want to be a couple levels behind from the area that you are in. I usually aim to not be under more than 4 levels behind when I do my runs, and if you are above the monster level of the zone that you are in, you are probably spending too much time killing everything that you are seeing, and this is not really worth it. By focusing on the bigger mob packs and elites and rares is usually the way to go. And especially elites and rares do give more experience than normal mobs, so focusing on getting them killed is the best option. So by skipping some enemies can be worth it in the long run, saving you some time in each zone. Just keep in mind not skipping too much though, that can be a problem later on instead, but going back at a later state in the campaign is usually better off anyways if you should need it. You get more skills, links, and you'll be faster overall, and also the packs will be bigger, so you will get more experience just from that as well. If you watch all this way, I thank you for sticking around, and I will share you with a bonus tip for you. This tip is not for faster leveling, but more so you can have a much better leveling experience. So what I like to do every time it's time to level up a new character, I always go to try and break my new personal records. Doing this makes the leveling process much more fun. Having to compete with yourself, trying to get better for each playthrough, there's just this awesome feeling by seeing that you are a couple minutes behind and knowing that you have to push that extra to keep it up. Don't look at the top players who get to maps in 4 hours on the league start, but set your own goals, like trying and complete Act 1 within 15 minutes, or having an average time of 30 minutes per act once completing Act 10, for instance. Doing this makes my leveling experience so much more fun than just having to feel that you're wasting a couple of hours of your time trying to get to maps. Hope this might help you out with a better leveling experience. Thanks for watching everyone, I hope you learned something from all of this, and if you did, don't forget to like this video and also consider subscribing to the channel, it do help out a lot. And with that said, I'll see you in the next one. Bye!